Hi everyone, a very good morning to all of you. So last class we have studied about intrinsic semiconductor and what is the structure of intrinsic semiconductor, what is the meaning of intrinsic semiconductor and how the bond formation exists within the intrinsic semiconductor, right? So, how the conductivity depends on holes and electrons in intrinsic semiconductor we have discussed. So, if you take intrinsic semiconductor, as we have discussed in the very first class, there is one valence band, there is one conduction band. Now, it is completely filled and this is partially filled or completely empty. Now whatever as temperature rises, I said covalent bond breaks. So the electron which becomes free, that will jump to conduction band. So that here one vacancy called hole created and here one electron we get. Generally dot is electron and this circle is for hole. So that here holes, here electrons will come. So the electron here jumps to conduction band and it leaves one vacancy. So that one hole. Now here also they define one more thing, that is valence band means different energy levels will be there. So different holes are at different energy levels. Now the average of, please listen carefully, the average of all the energies of holes here and electrons here, all the energies average you have to take, as many that many. If you take average, how many? Here the energy levels of all holes and here all the energy levels of electrons. If you take average, you will get one particular value that exactly lies between conduction band and valence band, which we call it as Fermi level or Fermi energy level. The energy level corresponding to this Fermi level is called Fermi energy level. So, in intrinsic semiconductor, it lies exactly between conduction and valence band. Right? So that here this movement of electrons from valence band to conduction band gives the conductivity. So that here electrons are moving and also holes also moving. As I explained in the last class, when electron shifts from one place to other place, hole also shifts. That's why there is a current due to current in semiconductor is due to two of them, that is hole and electron current. This is IH, this is IE. So the total current is IE plus IH and number of electrons equal to number of holes. This is for intrinsic semiconductor. And I said that after doping, this intrinsic will become extrinsic and that is the main purpose we are looking for, because this intrinsic semiconductor is having very low conductivity. We need some high level conductivity and to convert into that we use some process called doping. But whatever it is, after doping what happens we will study. But inside the semiconductor, whether it is intrinsic or extrinsic, always there are two types of charges, holes and electrons. The current is due to holes and electrons. So the conductivity is also due to both of them, and the conductivity nothing but 1 by resistivity of the semiconductor. They have given one formula, that is E into mu E Ne plus mu H NH. See, if you take hole, I said in the last class that it behaves like a positive proton. So what is the charge of hole? E only. What is the charge of electron? E only. But electron means minus E, hole means plus E. E is the quantity or charge of, magnitude of charge of electron and hole. So hole is nothing but like proton, positive charge. Now here Ne, NH are electron density and hole density or charge carrier density, and E is charge of electron or hole. E value we know it. How much is the E value? 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. But here if you see mu E mu H, you have studied in current electricity this thing. What is mu? Drift velocity per unit electric field. Everywhere to move the charges we need to give some additional energy. But if you define mobility when you give potential difference across the wire, then the electron will have tendency to shift towards one particular direction. Because if you don't apply potential difference, they move randomly. But if you apply potential difference, they try to move in one direction. They try to drift towards one direction with a particular speed. That constant or average speed we call it as drift velocity. And the drift velocity per unit electric field is called mobility. So for every moving charge you can define this one. So same way inside the semiconductor also there is one mobility for electron, there is one mobility for holes. So that they define the conductivity of semiconductor this formula. So remember this, like the range is 10 power 5 or 6 to 10 power minus 8. That is what we have taken in the first class. So sometimes the questions can come based on this formula also. That is, what is the conductivity or resistivity. So this thing also remember, they will give all the values, mu E, Ne, mu H, NH, everything they will give. Only thing you need to substitute and calculate properly, because the values will be decimals and 10 power minus or 10 power plus big values will be there. Only take care calculations, right? So this is what the intrinsic semiconductor. But today mainly we have to understand about, but this formula is for every semiconductor. But today we need to mainly study about how to convert intrinsic semiconductor into extrinsic semiconductor. Nothing but the process of doping. The process of doping. So to understand this doping, if you consider either silicon or germanium semiconductor, pure semiconductor, what was the structure? Like this. So there is one covalent bond, two electrons sharing. Here one covalent bond, here one covalent bond, here one covalent bond. Now, as all the electrons are tightly bounded, we are not having any charge carriers initially. But as temperature increases slightly, one electron becomes free, so that one positive hole, negative electron we get it. So that we get few charge carriers. But we need more current, we need more electricity, so that we need more number of charge carriers. So for semiconductors, as we said, electron can give current, holes also can give current. Hole is giving current nothing but what? Electron only. But as electron shifts its position from one covalent bond to another covalent bond, so the hole will move. So that current we call it as hole current. Or else the electron, free electron can move from conduction, from valence band to conduction band. So that current we call it as current due to electron. So here one current current is due to electron, one current is due to holes. Initially they tried to increase the conductivity by increasing this. Current increases when you increase number of charges. But here two types of charges are there. So they thought in this way. Is it possible to increase only electrons so that current due to electrons is more, so that conductivity of semiconductor is more? Later they tried, is it possible to increase number of holes so that hole current is more, so that the conductivity of semiconductor increases? So there were two options for them. Either this you can increase or this you can increase. To increase this, we need more electrons. To increase this, we need more holes, vacancies. So for that purpose, when they started thinking, they got some idea. What is that idea? Here, silicon is having 4 electrons. Why can't we replace this silicon with some other atom? What is that atom? They started thinking. They started thinking about that atom. So finally what they concluded is, we can add two different type of atoms. One is trivalent. Another one is pentavalent. What does that mean? As silicon is having 4 valence electrons. 4. How many valence electrons? 4. Tetra. Tri means 3. You take some some element who has or which has 3 valence electrons, and you take one element which has 5 valence electrons, then you will get increased this number, they said. I mean either electrons or holes may get increased. Now the question is, how? So if you take here 4 electrons are there. Now in place of silicon, you take one trivalent and replace this silicon. Means replacing means you will not replace, you will add it. When you add, that trivalent atom replaces one of the silicon inside the solid. So when you do such thing, here one trivalent is added. Now here only 3 electrons will be there to form only 3 bonds. So that 3 bonds it will form. Now what about the 4th one? So that trivalent replaced this one, so that one of the bond became incomplete. Here incomplete bond, so that here one vacancy will be created, because when you add trivalent atom to silicon or germanium semiconducting material, so that trivalent tries to replace this silicon or germanium place. But while replacing, it was unable to form the 4 bonds. Only 3 it can form. So that 4th bond becomes incomplete. So there is a tendency that one electron can occupy this place, and that place behaves as hole. Now the atom, trivalent atom, whichever you have added, now that is ready to accept one electron to fulfill this bond. From where it will come, that is secondary thing. But this trivalent atom is ready to accept one electron. That's why it is called acceptor. What is that? Acceptor. So this one behaves like acceptor because it is ready to accept one electron. So if you add one trivalent atom, that replaces one silicon and it will create one hole. It is not creating any more electrons. It is not giving any excess of electrons. It is creating one space. It is creating one vacancy which already we defined as hole. The vacancy which can be filled by any electron we called as hole. So that this is one hole. If you add one atom, one hole. If you add 5 atoms, 5 holes. If you add 1000, you will get 1000. So as many trivalent atoms you will add, that many charges. Which type of charges? Hole charges increases inside the material. When there are more vacancies, more electrons will try to shift their positions. So due to the movement of electrons, the shift in the position of hole happens. That means movement of hole takes place. That only we called as hole current. So that here the hole current increases as NH value increases. And in this case, after adding trivalent, number of holes are very much greater than number of electrons. Earlier when you consider intrinsic semiconductor, this is intrinsic. Here number of electrons equal to number of holes. But when you add this thing, the electron number is same. Which electron? The number of free electrons. But after adding trivalent, one hole increased. Like that, many atoms added, many holes got increased by keeping electron number same. That's why finally, if you added many trivalent atoms to intrinsic semiconductor, you will get one semiconductor with greater number of holes, so that you can increase the conductivity of that semiconductor, and that semiconductor we call it as p-type, because here we are increasing holes, positive charges. So the current due to positive charges, nothing but holes increased, so the conductivity of the semiconductor increased. That's why they call p-type semiconductor, as we increased positive charges. And here this trivalent means, the best example is aluminium. What is that? Aluminium. If you add aluminium, silicon 14, aluminium 13. What 13? Atomic number. So if you write the electronic configuration, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1, 3p2. So what is the valence number of electrons? 1 plus 2, 3. So such kind of trivalent atom if you add, and to increase the holes, hole charge carriers, that kind of process will yield into a type of semiconductor called p-type semiconductor, right? So this process of addition of external atoms, so excess of atoms, other atoms, either trivalent or pentavalent, we call it as doping. This method is called doping. So now, similar way, now you try to understand the other thing. Now you consider same intrinsic semiconductor. Take the same intrinsic semiconductor. Now you try to add pentavalent. Now you you added pentavalent, so that pentavalent atom replaces one silicon, so that it can form 4 bonds easily, because it is pentavalent. It has 5 valence electrons. So out of 5, 4 are good enough to form the required 4 covalent bonds. What about the 5th one? There is one more electron is with this pentavalent atom, that is having tendency to become free because it has no other electron to pair up to form covalent bond. Only 4 bonds are available, so that this electron becomes free inside the material. Now this is ready to donate 1 electron. That's why it is called donor. Earlier case, it was ready to accept 1 electron. That's why it is called acceptor. But here it is ready to donate 1 electron. That's why it is called donor. So it is ready to donate, donor. That was ready to accept, acceptor. Now here. So when you consider like phosphorus, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p3. Sorry, here it is 3s2, 3p1. Just correct it. Now here 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 10. 10 plus 2, 12 plus 3, 15. So how many valence electrons are there? 5. Out of 5, 4 will be utilized in forming covalent bond. Then fifth one will become free. So that if you add one pentavalent atom like phosphorus, you will give 1 electron to semiconductor. If you add 100 such atoms, you will get 100 electrons inside. But for intrinsic semiconductor, holes and electrons both are same. But after adding pentavalent, holes are same. Initially 10 holes, 10 electrons. But now we are focusing on increasing only electrons. Now the electron density increases. Current due to electron charge flow increases. So that conductivity of semiconductor increases. But here conductivity we are increasing by increasing negative number of charges. That's why it is called N-type semiconductor. Right? So N-type semiconductor. So finally if you conclude, doping is a process or phenomena through which you can convert an intrinsic semiconductor into extrinsic semiconductor into extrinsic semiconductor, where extrinsic semiconductor is 2 types. One is p type and another one is n type. So here you will add trivalent, here you will add pentavalent, and here the trivalent atom behaves like a acceptor and here it behaves like donor. Now this p type, whatever trivalent you will add, that is ready to accept 1 electron. It will accept 1 electron so that it will become negatively charged ion. Negatively charged ion inside the material. But here this pentavalent atom ready to donate 1 electron, it loses 1 electron so that it will become positively charged ion. Because p type means it is accepting 1 electron. So you are giving one negative charge. I mean electron means the body gets negative charge. But here it is losing 1 electron. I am not talking about semiconductor. I am talking about one atom which added in the process of doping. So we are talking about the atom. Like if you consider, see here. This is intrinsic semiconductor, where 1 electron, 1 hole, 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 1 electron, 1 hole. So electron hole pair and equal number of electrons and holes. But when you add here trivalent, then inside what happens? So initially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 electrons are there. 4, 5, 6, 7 electrons. And 7 holes are there. But after adding trivalent, only the number of holes got increased very high. But this number of holes depends upon number of trivalent atoms you have added. So that NH is very much greater than Ne. And here if you add pentavalent, here if you add pentavalent atoms, then what happens? Initially there are 7 electrons and there are 7 holes. But now you added pentavalent, so that number of electrons got increases. So that here Ne very much greater than NH. Now here also one more thing you need to understand. So here suppose one atom you have added, trivalent, it will become like negative ion. As many trivalent atoms you have added, that many negative ions will be there inside. What kind of this we call it as? P-type extrinsic semiconductor. And here as many pentavalent atoms you have added, that many positive ions will be there, because it loses one electron, it donates one electron and it will become into positive ion. So this is the complete picture of intrinsic and extrinsic, p-type and n-type. But here there is a relation they have given, that is NeNH equal to Ni square. What is Ni? This one. Ni is initially the concentration of charges in intrinsic semiconductor, number density of electron or holes before doping, and NeNH are the doping after doping, the concentration of electrons and holes inside the semiconductor, and the relation between them is this one. This is before doping, these two are after doping, maybe for p-type or for n-type. So this is all about the process of doping, how we are converting an intrinsic semiconductor into extrinsic semiconductor. But here one more thing also we need to remember, because questions can come based on that. What is that? Let's see. Now, if you consider semiconductor, as we discussed, there is one conduction band and there is one valence band. So here what we have to understand and remember is, when you consider n-type, when you consider p-type, obviously there is one conduction band, there is one valence band. Now electron jumps from here to here, here also same thing, and initially holes and electrons will be created. But after doping, all the doped atoms, this is called donor level, because it is n-type. In n-type donor level, and in p-type acceptor level. In p-type acceptor level. So in N type, all the donor levels, I mean donor atom energy levels, lies in a particular level, and that is closer to conduction band. That is closer to conduction band. Like there is some energy gap between this donor level and conduction band. Similarly here in P type, all the acceptor energy levels lies closer to valence band with certain energy gap, right? So that is what. And here the Fermi energy level now lies here above the donor level, and here the energy level, Fermi energy level, lies below the acceptor level. So earlier when you consider intrinsic semiconductor, what I said, here holes will be created after electrons jumping here, and the average energy of all the holes here and all the electrons here lies exactly between them. That is called Fermi level. But now after doping in N-type and P-type formation happens, so if you consider N-type semiconductor, so in N-type semiconductor this shifts up, and here in P-type the Fermi energy level shifts down because the number of electrons and holes got changed. The number of holes and electrons got changed. So here electrons are more. Electrons are more. Here electrons are there. That's why the Fermi energy level shifts towards electrons. Here P-type. P-type means more number of holes will be there. So the average level, nothing but Fermi energy level, tries to shift towards holes, nothing but this one. So here holes, here electrons, like if you compare with intrinsic semiconductor. But in case of intrinsic semiconductor, holes and electrons both are same. That's why this lies exactly between. Exactly between. But here more electrons, so shifts towards electrons. Here more holes, so shifts towards this holes. Valence band, closer to valence band, closer to conduction band. So this thing also you need to remember, you need to understand, because the question can be expected based on any particular thing in the form of conceptual based question. So please try to understand each and everything. Carefully listen, carefully try to understand, and ask me anywhere any doubt. But listening twice is better regarding any lecture of this semiconductor devices. That is my sincere suggestion. Right? So now the job is done. What job is done? The job is done about increasing the conductivity. First we categorized conductors, semiconductors, insulators. We make the differences. Then we thought about how to increase, how it will work. Intrinsic semiconductor, what is the structure? Then we got a problem. What was the problem? Because of low conductivity, the practical usage is very less. Then we started thinking about increasing conductivity. Then we found a method called doping, addition of atoms, adding impurities. Pure conductor, added impurity, then it became extrinsic semiconductor. When you add impurities, then it will become extrinsic semiconductor, and that whole process, doping. Now we got increased. Here we got two types of conductors, N type, P type. Like here more electrons, here more holes, more negative charges, more positive charges, so that we got it. Now we will represent, this is like N type with positive ions and less number of holes and more number of electrons. That is what N type. And here if you take negative ions and small number of electrons and more number of holes. That is P type. So we increase the conductivity. Then the question is, how can we use these things as a device? So to use semiconductor as a device, they made one device called PN junction. What is that? PN junction. So what is PN junction? The name itself is saying junction means what? A meeting point. If you meet them together, if you kept them in contact, we call it as PN junction diode. But it is not that simple like you are keeping them in contact. After keeping them in contact, a junction forms, then more difficulties comes. To use it as a device. Because our ultimate aim is to increase the conductivity and to increase the current flow in the semiconductor. So their problem happens. What problem arises? How we have to overcome that? That all things we will study under PN junction. That is what we will discuss in the coming class. So based on that PN junction, one question will come in the NEET entrance. Almost it is like 100% damn sure. So that is what we will study in the coming two classes. What is PN junction? What problem arises? How we will overcome that to conduct electricity. Right?